So, it started already. Well, this is about diplomacy, architecture, pavilions, and I think that pavilions are an instrument for architecture and for diplomacy, and this is the symbol for Brazilians when we talk about this idea of diplomacy and architecture. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it's the same, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs by Oscar Niemeyer, 1962. And this is the place where Brazilian presidents receive authorities like whatever, the Emperor of Japan. And it's a mixture, as you can see, of we want to show the most spectacular thing we can do to impress all of you and to impress all the visitors that come to see us in Brazil. So, it's also a curve, and curves are extremely important in Brazilian architecture. This is the first curve and the first ramp in Brazilian architecture. It's from 1939. It's the Brazilian Pavilion in the New York Fair. It's by Niemeyer and Lúcio Costa. And you see, we always think that the central curve is absolutely important. Architectural promenade, welcoming, and a pavilion. This is another very important pavilion from Brazil from 1958. From Sérgio Bernardes. You see again curves, flows, this is a moment of democracy in Brazil, 1958. We were all very optimistic. You see Brasilia on the right. And we have this ball that you see that could go up because the pavilion, we didn't have so much money, so we had a pavilion that was not very well located in the fair. So we had to go up and down with this ball to call the attention that the pavilion of Brazil was somewhere. So, you see again curves, but here it's a curve with steel. Yes, and here is Osaka in 1970, very little published, the Brazilian pavilion by Paulo Mendes da Rocha, who got the Pritzker Prize in 2006. This is a very early work by Paulo Mendes da Rocha, but unfortunately at that moment Brazil was not a democracy. In spite of that, we were trying to have a good architecture and good design, and as you can see, it was about transparency, circulation, light. Unfortunately, that's not what we had in the country at that moment. It was in fact exactly the opposite, but anyway, we tried to keep good architecture even during tough times. So, this is a pavilion in Rio de Janeiro 2 years ago. It's all about sustainability. It had to be something that looked provisional, and it's by two women, two fantastic women, Carla Joaçaba and, well, that's the Brazilian embassy in Tokyo. Why am I talking about that? We have an embassy that is a Brazilian architect, 1982, but we have lots of space in front of it, and we wanted to have a pavilion for the World Cup, and we needed to put like the embassy, you know, close to the street. So we asked Shigeru Ban to design it in January 2014, so before he got the Pritzker Prize. And so we are very talented. He is great for sustainability. We wanted to have something related to sustainability, and so he designed it for us. And we wanted to take the opportunity that Tokyo is the safest city in the world. Brazil is a country that has absolutely no problem with any country in the world. And so we wanted to have it completely open. The opposite of normal embassies that you all go to, that they have bars, they have walls, they have everything you cannot enter. We want it to be open. Yeah, thanks. Shigeru Ban taught the children, Brazilian and Japanese children, how to do a screen that you're going to see where the balls, the football balls, were going to be put. This is him, as you can recognize, and this is the pavilion. The pavilion was all in cardboard, recycled cardboard, and as you can see, the balls. And it was open for 40 days, 7 days a week. And we wanted we didn't know, but this was the first project of Shigeru Ban done after he got the Pritzker Prize. So this is the interior, and we want, as you can see, the stairs, the steps become integrated into the building. and we could have then the street and the embassy fully coordinated. And here, the great thing is that we had all the volunteers from the embassy that worked tirelessly, weekend, everything, to be sure that we could welcome the Japanese during the World Cup. And so we had the private sector gave all the money to build it. We had Brazilian products for everyone, and we had shows. We launched magazines, books, etc. This is Lisa Ono, the queen of Bossa Nova in Asia, singing, and we had all these free shows and all this for everyone during those 40 days. We could not have the games outside because the games were at 4 in the morning and 5 in the morning, so we had to welcome people after the games, because if we had them during the games we would be expelled from the neighborhood. So this is, after the games we had breakfast. We had up to 700 people coming for breakfast at the embassy, and the police was very worried. This is a demonstration that we received all kinds of visitors during the World Cup, and since the result of the World Cup was really very different from what we expected, we appreciated enormously the solidarity of all the Japanese and their pets. And this is just final to say that again Brazil tried to put together diplomacy and architecture, and trying to have the best possible architecture for the Japanese public, because you are very good and we think we are quite reasonable, and we wanted to do it together. Thank you.